Hi guys, in this video we will discuss the effects of sigils and let's try to analyze which sigils will works best for you. Before we proceed, help me support our channel by clicking that like button and by subscribing to our channel so you don't miss any of our future uploads. Alright, let's go back to our topic. So when you get level 75, you'll have access to sigils. There will be a quest which will reward you 1 build imprint. 2 advanced imprints, these are the purple ones, and 4 common imprints, these are the blue ones. Initially at level 75, you'll get access to fewer sigil slots, but you'll unlock it eventually as you level your character. So when we go to the free sigils, you'll have options to choose which sigils are the best for your character. When you have fewer sigils, what you would want to get is the sigils that you can equip in your sigil tablet page, because these sigils greatly affect your character. For example, champ sigils directly affects the champ character by giving them additional damage on their finger offensive skills, same as the other classes. Priest build imprint to priest job class, assassin build imprints to assassin job class, and so on. Another thing you can do is you can collect the sigils that are not made for your job class, for example, champ job class to Lord Knight sigils. Although you cannot equip it, you can still gain the passive collection stats from it. Each sigil has different collection stats, just like in the card system. So now that we have an idea of what is a build imprint or job class sigil, now, let's discuss the other 2 kinds of sigils. Mainly, sigils are divided into 3 groups. There are the build imprints, which we have just discussed, active sigils, and the passive sigils. Active sigils take effect once you use the skills manually. Examples are Radiant Guardian, Divine Sword, etc. While passive sigils automatically trigger once the requirements are met. Examples are Swift Breakout, Immortal Body, etc. If you are still confused about which is which, just look at the gallery on the sigil tablet page, and the sigils are already categorized which sigils are passive and active. Now let's explain each sigil and try to analyze which scenarios are best for them so you can maximize their potential. So to easily understand, let's categorize them into 3. MVP consists of boss-type monsters. PvP consists of player versus player contents. Leveling, which consists of grinding or monster research. Active sigils. Divine Sword deals additional damage. This is good if you need damage skills, especially if you are a full support priest. Good for MVP, PvP. Ancient Power gives additional damage to a single target. This is good for MVP as well as for glass cannons job classes like Assassin Cross and Sniper in PvP. Radiant Guardian gives additional defense on a large area that affects players that will enter it. Good for pushing in Guild League, as well as extra defense in MVP hunting. Passive sigils. Since purple ones are the only ones we have, we will use this as our reference in the meantime. Gate of Suffering. After you deal a specific number of hits to the target, you will attach the effect to the target. The effect is similar to the skills of Bloodseeker in Dota. As you move, you lose your HP. This is good in PvP, especially in Guild League. Surging Protection or Flowing Shield. Creates a shield that lasts 60 seconds if not broken. Additionally, it has a slow effect when the shield bursts. The only downside, I think, is it has a long cooldown and low HP. The shield's HP is 8% of your character's max HP. This is advisable if you have a large HP pool like Vitality Lord Knight. Another alternative to this is Volcanic Bulldog. This is good in PvP, MVP. Swift Breakout. Like Surging Protection, this sigil provides survivability. Once the requirements are met, it will give you a 20% damage reduction, meaning magic and physical damage reduction. It also has long duration of 10 seconds, and has short cooldown time of 15 seconds. Once the 10-second duration runs, The 15-second cooldown also starts, which in total will only gives a 5-second waiting time before we can use the sigil again. This is good in PvP and MVP, as well as leveling and high-level monsters. Choice Maze. This one is a double-edged sword. It has a 30% chance to trigger 8% HP loss, or 30% to increase your damage. It has no cooldown. As long as you are attacking, there's always a 30% chance that you will trigger either of both effects. So, this is good especially if you are with a priest. But how about solo grinding? How will you counter the negative effect of Choice Maze? You want to know my secret? Stick to the video and I will show you later. God of Gamblers. This one has a long cooldown of 25 seconds, so you will probably not notice the effects, especially if you have the blue versions or the common imprint. You may not even notice even if you get the HP loss effect, since the 25-second cooldown will give you enough time to recover. The best version of this sigil is the chosen one, which gives 6 positive effects and has a high percentage of effects as well. Good for MVP, PvP, and leveling. Megathon Bash. For me, the 5% boost is not worth the slot. But, if you will level it, you will gain a lot of damage reduction stat. I think this is best for high damaging skills like finger offensive, elemental bolts of wizards, and so on. For me, if you have a lot of duplicates, I suggest investing in these kinds of sigils, especially if you have a lot of defense stat in your character. This is good for PvP and leveling. Braveheart. When HP is higher than 80%, reduce the initial damage by 20%, then the following damage during the 10 seconds is reduced by 20% as well. You may also check the blue and gold versions of each sigil to have a better comparison. Like Megaton Bash, which gives a lot of damage reduction percentage stats, Braveheart also gives the same stat, but the difference is, Braveheart's main effect is also damage reduction. In my opinion, if you want a more focused defensive stat, go for Braveheart. But if you want a hybrid stat with additional damage and damage reduction stats, go for Megathon Bash. This is good in PvP and leveling, especially if you are a glass cannon class. Deadlock Aurora. It gives instant 50% HP when your HP reaches 20%. This effect takes every 50 seconds. So, it's best to back it up with another HP boost sigils with a shorter cooldown. Again, it has damage reduction stats. This is great in PvP and leveling. Immortal Body. This one works best with Deadlock Aurora. It gives 5% movement speed and 5% HP for 5 seconds, so that is 50% of your max HP in total. It has 20 seconds cooldown. And it triggers even if your HP is sufficient. As long as you are taking any damage, the sigil will work. It works well in PvP and leveling and high-level monsters. Weakness Gaze. Weakness Gaze effect starts when you enter in battle. Meaning, when you attack a monster, or when you attack a player in PvP. Initially, it will give you 10 layers of 3% critical rate, and 3% attack speed. To clarify what layers means, the description just means 10 times, or 10 stacks. It will be consumed once you are landing a critical damage. It also has a short 5-second duration, so if you cannot land a critical damage within that 5-second duration, the effect will end. So to maximize this skill, you need to quickly kill the monster to reset effect. Or, you can also get out of the enemy's range and get back again to reset the effect. Best scenario for this is Guild League, where players run around and hit the enemy. Now there are some imprints or sigils that don't have a weaker counterpart, like Frozen World Sigil. We will discuss this in another video in the future. But then again, before I forgot, I will share my secret on how I use the Choice Maze. So, if you reached this point of the video, I just want to say thank you for supporting the channel. And as a gift, here it is. Thank you. Guys, if I helped you in any way, especially with our topic, please leave a like and subscribe. This helps our channel grow. As always, Happy leveling. Peace.